Hello, I'm author DJ Siegel, and this is Big 3 Dashing. All right, you all, here we are in Edinburgh tonight, and we're going to do something a little bit different today, because what I would like to do is to share with you some tips as to how you can A, improve your customer rating, B, improve your tips, the quality of you might be able to get your tips, and maybe change some customers' attitudes in general, and maybe other dashers too. I have 5 tips that I will share with you, throughout this video. So please stay, through the whole entire video, because you'll miss out on these tips, and these tips could very well help you in the future. So I will start with the first one after I get the first drop off. All right, y'all. Well, this is the evening time here on Sunday, May the 2nd. And I decided to do something a little different tonight. Instead of going to Franklin, I decided to do a little Edinburgh dashing, because I don't really dash in Edinburgh too much. So I decided to just go ahead and devote that time to Edinburgh tonight. I mean, it doesn't matter how long the video is going to be or anything. I just decided to do something a little different. So same rules apply, but it does not count towards today's dash. This is just a little separate thing. But right now we're starting at Applebee's for $6.25, only going a couple of miles. So let's go pick it up and get this evening started. I appreciate your business. All right, here is tip number 1. Arrive at the merchant on time. That is key. That is very important. You can't be dawdling around when you first get the order. You got to make sure that you get to the merchant on time. And then when you get to the merchant, make sure you greet them, or at least tell them that you're there so they can acknowledge you, because I guarantee you, most places will not acknowledge you. In fact, some of them will even ignore you. But you have a job, they have a job, you have to give an order to a customer, and they have to oblige by, making the order to make sure that you get it to the customer. So, I know that some merchants can be impossible, but we have to grin and bear it, and we all have to work together. Whether they want to or not, we have to work together. That's just how it is. So that's step 1 and 2. Make sure you get to the merchant on time, and make sure that you greet the merchant so that you can get the order. Okay? After the next drop off, I'll give you the next step. All right, y'all, we got that dropped off. I'm glad that I decided to stay in Edinburgh, because guess what? I just got a banger. Yes, it's like a catering order, but it did not ask me to have a catering bag. It's $21. Going probably around 10 miles. I think I have an idea who this person is, because I've delivered to this person before. And he's the one that's asking for it. So, but I got 2 bags here, and I'm going to take them in and act like it is a catering order. And I can even use pizza bags if I have to. So it'll work anyhow I do it. So let's make this $21 by going to Applebee's for the second time. All right, y'all, before I tell you what that drop-off was, here's step number 2. Make sure that you get to the customer on time. Now, sometimes that might be hard with traffic, or sometimes a train might get in the way, or, some other things, or weather could be a problem. But do whatever it is you can to get to the customer on time. And if you're going to be late, pull over, send the customer a message, send Doordash a message and say, hey, I've got something going on, I'm going to be late to the customer, let somebody know. Okay, let somebody know, because things do happen, friends. They happen, and everybody needs to know. So step number 2, make sure that you communicate and get to the customer on time. Okay, next tip will be after the next drop off. All right, y'all. Well, I got that dropped off, and I was glad that I took it, because I got an extra $3 from that. Just like I said earlier, that sometimes you got to take those bad orders, and then you get rewarded later on. And for these last 2 orders, I was rewarded with extra tips. Now, as part of this video and all the explanations that I'm doing to try to help you get better customer ratings and better tips and so on and so forth, all the credit goes to Chuck at Dashing Across America for all this happening. Because I was like maybe a number of you. At one time, I had a customer rating that was 4.67. And I wondered, what in the world was I doing wrong? What was I doing wrong? I didn't know. And then I started watching Chuck, and I thought, wait a minute. I see exactly what I need to do to improve. So, it's not like I was trying to copy him, because I wasn't. I liked what he was doing, and I thought, well, I'll just try to see if I can do it myself and see what happens. And lo and behold, everything changed. Everything improved. My customer rating went through the roof, and now it's at 4.99. Because you can't please everybody. My customer rating has improved, and my tips have improved. I've had more tips in the last 3 months than I've had probably in the first 2 years that I started doing this. And it's all because of Chuck and what he does every day. And that's why I'm doing this video, so that you can see what you can do to improve your customer rating and to improve possibly getting some tips. Because even for these customers, it might take you as an individual to change a customer's mind about service. If you're the one that provides the best kind of service for a customer, they'll remember you. And then your colleagues that will be behind you and maybe giving them orders, it might improve them too, because then those people will get extra tips. And then everybody's moods and everything will change, and we might just change some attitudes about Doordash or any other platform that you're doing. And that's the reason why I made this video for you. So now I got a $4 Subway order right here. It's going 4 miles. Yes, it's not the greatest, but it's going to put me at $40. So that's good for me. All right, we'll pick it up for. All right, Mr. Bryce, I appreciate your business. I'm going to put your order right here on the tabletop. You have yourself a wonderful evening. All right, you all, here is step number 3. Step number 3 is presentation. Okay? When you get the order, especially if it's take it to the door or leave at the door, make sure that you put the drink first. The drink must be the closest to the door. That's how servers in restaurants do it, and that's how you should do it. Now, you don't have to. I'm just saying that's really the best way to do it, because that's how they do it in restaurants. The drinks always come first, because the waitresses or waiters will always ask you, what do you want to drink? Because that's always the first thing. And anytime I have a hand it to me, then I give the drink first to the customer, because that's really how you should do it. I was a server for several years, so I know exactly, how to do it. And then you put the order right next to it, in the, right behind the drink. And if for some reason it's raining outside, if you have some plastic bags to put the order in, that would be very helpful. You can just let the customer know, hey, your order's in a plastic bag because it might get wet or whatever. So that too is very helpful. Customers will appreciate that because they don't want a soaking wet bag. I wouldn't want a soaking wet bag, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't either. Okay, so that right there is step number 3. Okay, I'll tell you the next step later. All right, well, we got that dropped off, and now I'm going to go to Camp Atterbury again, and it's for $6.25 going to Headquarters Road. So this is like, well, I guess the second time I've been there because I went to Atterbury Job Corps. Well, no, this is the third time. Twice I've been to Camp Atterbury. That includes this order, and then one time to Atterbury Job Corps. So this is my third trip out that way. Well, let's go pick up this Casey's order, and I'll see you at the drop-off. All right, here's step number 4, and this is very important, okay? Now, when you watch Chuck, and this is how I learned, that if you see a Ring doorbell right by their, right by the customer's front door, I noticed that Chuck a lot of times would talk into that because, they do have cameras there, and the customer will hear what you say. So, what I say and what he says, and I found it to be the most effective, is that we appreciate their business, enjoy whatever it is that they're having, and tell them to have either a great day, wonderful day, fantastic day, or whatever. Okay? Customers appreciate that. They appreciate you going through the extra effort to tell them and acknowledge them, and say that you appreciate what, their order. You appreciate them as a person. They like that, and they'll remember that. That's why there's a lot of regulars in Edinburgh, because of that. When I do those regulars, I do the same thing all the time, and they acknowledge me, and they treat me pretty well because I've acknowledged them. And that's what's important. Okay, let's take these tips and put them to practice, friends, because this is going to help you. Okay, I'll tell you step number 5 in just a minute. All right, step number 5. Let's talk about the problems that might be able to happen. Now, if you're in the merchant and it's taking a long time, there's 2 things you can do. Number 1, there's a button that you can push that explains, that while you're late, okay, for an order, because the merchant doesn't have the order made yet. There's 2 buttons you can push. 1, order still being prepared, or order not started. Okay? You determine which it is, but you must be truthful. Okay? You can't just say order not started and then the order comes right to you immediately. You got to be truthful. Okay? Because there are ways it can be found out, friends. You got to be truthful with these orders. Okay? And then other problems. If for some reason you cannot find the customer, or the GPS sends you astray, you got to immediately get with Doordash, and you got to immediately get with the customer and say, hey, the Doordash, the GPS is taking me where I don't know where I'm going. And at that point, if there's communication and it's appreciative on everybody's end, that they know what's going on. That prevents contract violations, and it prevents confusion, okay? Because, these things happen. The customer might be a little irritated that it happened, but they at least, will be thankful for the communication that you give them. So communication is key, friends. It always is. You need to communicate with your people. Okay, let's finish the dash, and I wish you the most success in all of your channels and in all of your endeavors. All right, you all, that's going to do it, because anyway, after that one I dropped off there from the shopping order, I ended this dash with $62. Yeah, $62 for just a few orders. And it's all because of bangers and extra tips. So to finish out this video, if you complete the steps that I showed you, your tips will improve, your customer service rating will improve, customers just might change their attitude about the whole entire delivery service because it took you to change their mind. It took you to change their mind. Because all it takes is one person to change the whole complexions of things. And Chuck has done that. And that's one of the reasons why Big 3 Dashing is existing now, is because of Chuck. And Chuck, if you're watching this, I want to thank you ever so much for, one, having me be a guest star on your show, and two, for showing everybody just how service is supposed to be. You are the reason, and you are the one that deserves all of the credit for this. And I'm sure those who are guest stars and those who follow you on your Chuck Chat and so on and so forth, I'm sure they're very appreciative of you too. Because as far as I'm concerned, Chuck, if everybody was in the same room together with you, I would vote you as captain of the ship. Because that's how I feel about you. That's exactly how I feel about you. You would be captain of the ship in the room. I want to thank you, Chuck. I want to thank all of those of you who watch me, those who follow me, subscribe, and share and comment. I'm doing this for you, so any future subscribers, please take these tips seriously because it will help you. All right, well, it's on to Franklin now next Thursday, so I will see you again. So until then, I will see you in the future. And remember, we're all in this together.